What up, my devils? Happy Monday. Sensei-tutum here with another video for you. So, as some of you may know, just getting over some technical difficulties. I was set to record a video for everyone, meaning members and the public alike, last week. That didn't work out. Discovered some technical issues. Had to make some purchases on the computer side here, but ready to roll now. Looks like I happen to be recording while we're in a bit of a little dilly here. As you see here on Litecoin, I've got the chart up. Usually this is when the members in the Discord, in that what I call the degenerate room, the crypto trading room, usually there's some freaking out at this point. Some guys are happy because they're longing. Some guys are sad because they're shorting. But no one's making a peep. It's early Sunday. I'm guessing sleepy Sunday or sleepy Monday, I should say. It's early Monday. Nobody's awake and doing stuff yet. So this is actually pretty good. So as far as the whole crypto market goes right now, we feel like we've had a beat on it in the Discord. I've been keeping everybody up to date. So hopefully you guys are making some money on this. And everybody else, I mean, to be honest with you, haven't given nearly as much information to you folks out on Twitter, but if you've been paying attention, then you're making some money on those charts as well. Not that that's why I'm posting them. Those are for clear educational purposes, and I just want you to be able to make those charts yourself. In any event, I have Litecoin up today. The whole market, like I say, been keeping track of, at least the big boys. And I wanted to do Litecoin video just because it's a little bit different than everything else. It's got a little bit of a lack of clarity. And I think it's worth talking about. And what's the lack of clarity? It depends on what end of the spectrum you were on, right? We all battle with this. Are you struggling with seeing the forest through the trees? Or are you struggling with seeing the trees through the forest? You need to be able to see both. You need to be able to have focus, switch focus, and basically pay attention. So what I mean by that is the guys that can't see the trees through the forest would just say, look, Toot, it's you had a finish 3-swing move, and looks like you're going up for a fifth. And to be honest, I'm more on your team than the guy that's caught up in the subwave count and can't get beside himself and thinking didn't take a trade here. So why do I say that in this particular case? Because there's some oddities within the subwave structure that we would not say is highly probable in a typical expectation sense. So, for instance, we have this kickoff wave, boom, straight up. And it's not, very long compared to everything else here. And then we have this crazy mess. And it's, do I get down in here? I think I can see 3, but could I make 5 out of this? I'm not sure what's going on here. To me, this is, this wave is, can I get in there and count it as 5? Potentially. Can I get in there and count it as 3? Yeah, I mean, I can do that. But from what I see here, I would say we got a 3, and then we got another 3, and then we got 5. So we have a sideways style of correction. Whether you want to call this a flat, whether you want to call this some sort of WXY, I don't care. Now, what's atypical about it? The kickoff nature of the one wave? Not necessarily. Not necessarily even in crypto. I mean, we get that shit after hard downs. That's what happens. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Forgive me. But this B is quite long relative to this A. It's under 2, which is the rule that we'd be looking for. So I'm going to just say that it's that's a flat wave. So then out of that, okay, Toot, then you definitely have a perfect 3-wave here. Well, no, I really don't. Now let's start looking at the trees through the forest. We just looked at the forest through the trees, just a clear 3-3, focus on dominant swings. It's a clear 3-wave move. But here, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 completed waves. This is still wave 3 in progress. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can call that a 9-swing move. But that does what's your subwave structure? How does that work out? It sure looks like this is a pretty typical 1-2-1-2, right? Because it doesn't quite overlap. Not that it has to, but it doesn't quite overlap. But you got a big one here, and then a similar size one, not quite as big, with a sharp wave following. Close to overlapping, but it's too short to be a 3, and really it's even too short to be a C. It could be. It does come to the top of the base trend channel there. However, we then test the base trend on this, break out hard. So this is clearly part of a 3 based on this channeling. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to join up and study. But yeah, based on this channeling, based on the volume profile. Look at that. Clearly a 3 wave, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what are we having out of that? So this, to me, is 1, 2, let's go ahead. 3, and then we're expecting 4. But what's this, 2? Look how deep it is. How could you possibly... Shh. Hold on, guys. Hold on. So let's go ahead and bump this down to here. Okay, let's go ahead and bump this. I'll go there. Put 3 there. Put these over here since we don't know where they are. Take this up a level. Go ahead and change the color just to yellow. Okay, so, but dude, look how deep this is. Well, do we violate? We certainly do not. Look how deep this is. So that does go 50. We hit the high, I would say bounce off the top of the high probability area. Still pretty shallow to just hit the, just barely hit the 50 there on the 2. Doesn't even overlap with any of the 1. Well, relative size, you wouldn't necessarily expect it to. Let's see. Let's go ahead and measure this puppy out. Look at that. Just a bit through the high probability area, what we're looking for. Add the 175, get that zone. Looks like the 3 of the 3 ended there, and then we just got a little bit more out of the 5. Let's see, with some nice divergence, beautiful short play here. I believe we were, pointing that out. Not advocating shorting the bull, but I think we pointed that out. And then now what have we gotten? Well, so if we go ahead and channel, is the wave 4 done? We could certainly say, due to this channel, that wave 4 is done. We could certainly say that due to this Fibonacci pool, that this wave 4 is done. However, let's look at the clarity within. I could see someone saying, well, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it certainly does look like it could be called that, but let's look here. We have overlap, right? We have what could be considered a 3 wave. What if we have a 3, 5, WXY, right? So what if it's, WX big Y, right? It's funky. Just like this is funky, right? It's deep, it's funky. It's not typical. But, if you just count swings of moves, at no point did you really have a nice, clean, finished wave here, even if you were going bearish scenario, on at least this chart. Other charts did have it because they had a nice, clean 1, 2, 3, right? So at that point, once you've gotten to your 3rd wave, you don't know if you're getting that 5th. That's why the 5th wave is risky play. Compared to some other higher probability plays that we like to focus on in the dojo. You guys who are members may be familiar with that. If not, check it out. In any event, we didn't have a finished play here. So we're still expecting, no matter what, really, we're going to expect to move up, even though we got deep. This was shallow, right? Even though we sort of have this atypical count here, we were expecting to bounce. Got a little deeper than you might have if you were playing this, and you might have liked. But we did. So once we broke through this zone here, once we got here, it did not feel complete, right? This would have felt incomplete. And this looked bearish, and I believe I pointed that out. So once we break here, just from a simple support and resistance area, what's our next point of support? Here, what does that happen to coincide with? This, So this was a nice, high risk to reward and decent probability play. While it is very low, in the probabilities of a typical scenario, that's why you have to use context on every single count. Any event, I'm getting very long-winded. I just felt like I owed you guys a decent analytical video here because I haven't given you anything, and I don't want to be too boring. But essentially, we're still calling this 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is 5, and this will be 3. This will technically be a finished 3-wave move at that point. So like I just told you, what happens after a 3-wave move? We could go down, right? We could die, or put in a 4, put in a 5. Now, if you take the context of the whole scenario in, a finished 3-wave move could be, could mean, could mean some bad things, but let's focus on the now. Let's focus on the now with this video, and look at your dilly right here. So what are we playing out as? So we'd hope for not having a truncation. That certainly possible, but I would say we have a wave 3 of 5 in progress. Hopefully not 3 of 1 of 5, because then that's just less likely with the size of the swing here. Could be. But I would say we have a wave 3 in progress. We want to see this wave get through this base trend channel, which is going to be tough because this was a kickoff wave. But we really want to see it get through. We want to see it reach, in order to not be a truncation, I'd really even like it to be higher than the high probability zone. Though if it gets there, we're happy with that. But I want to break this channel on volume, and then I want to have a light retracement and take up some time with that, and then go up for a new high. And then we have put in that 3-wave move that we talked about. So then I want to see a correction after that does not break this area of support. We can get down here again. I just don't want to break it after we get here. So yeah, there's your map. Hopefully up to here. If we get a truncation, bad news. And then once we get to this, make a new high here, then I am expecting, a decent bit of sideways crap, or at least some time of correction. We get down below into this area, then we're probably going to make new lows. So that's just where I'm at right now. But, the market's been very bullish of late. Take advantage of it while you can. When these things break out of these base trend channels, they typically like to do it on volume and make a little pop. So you could, take that as you will. There's definitely ways to play that as a trader. I will defer to your expertise on that. If you need help with that, learning how to do those sort of things, just come on over to Trade Devils. But yeah, there's your base trend that you want to really break out of. You get rejected here, then you're looking at this as some type of 3-wave move, and then you're saying, well, is this actually a 5-wave 5, 3, 5? Because I just showed, before we end, let's just show the bearish idea here, because what I just showed is not the guaranteed going to happen. We've got a base trend channel that we've reached the top of, which in a 3-wave move we're expecting down, right? So if we pull a fib here, right in the golden corner pocket, what's that mean? That we have this algo in play, this support, this resistance zone stopping us. So bearish scenarios, there's always an alternative. And I know some of the people on Twitter think that if I post a chart that, without context, if I don't tell you that this is my primary and, I feel strongly about that, I would be hesitant to assume that I feel that way. Not that you should care how I feel anyway. I'm just showing you Elliott waves. All right, boys. I think that's enough for today. A little bit of a rambling video. I guess I'm rusty, but I'm back. All right, toot out.